Hello my friends, welcome back to I Need Examples. This is John Gibson, and today we are going to be exploring the wonderful world of the Excel function sum. So strap in and let's do this. What is it? The sum value is the most basic of all functions. Very simply, it adds values together. You could add individual values, cells, ranges, or a mix of all three. Example 1. Let's start with the basics of the function sum. Double-click on the cell you wish to have a value and enter in the following formula, equals 1 plus 1, and hit enter. After you hit enter, you will see that the value is now 2. Clicking on the cell again, you will see in the formula bar the formula that you just entered, equals 1 plus 1. Let's do this again. Double-click on the cell, put in your formula, equals 2 plus 2, and hit enter. The value is now 4. Now that we have two values to work with, we want to add these two values together in an individual cell. This is very simple. Let's double click on the D2 cell, hit equals, sum, open parentheses, and as you can see, the sum formula is requesting multiple values. We will type in B2, this is the value of the first cell that we want, comma, C2. This is the second value of the formula that you want. As you can see, B2 is highlighted as blue, which is also corresponding with the cell. C2 is in red, which again is corresponding with the cell that it is referencing. If we close out the parentheses and hit enter, we will have the value of 6. If we select this cell, you will see up in the formula bar that we have a sum of B2, comma, C2. This has added these two values together and entered in the final value in D2. Sometimes entering in each individual cell into the formula is not practical. This is where cell range comes into play. As an example, let's double click on the cell we wish to enter in the three values of 2, 4, and 6. Double click. Then we will type in the formula equals sum and open parentheses. But this time, instead of adding each individual cell, we will simply come over to B2, hold down our left cursor and select this cell, and then drag over to D2. We will let go and close out the parentheses. We are now showing B2, colon, and D2, and it's all in blue, showing that we are doing a range between B2 and D2. This will also include C2. When we hit enter, we will see the value of 12, which is the sum of 2, 4, and 6. Clicking on the cell, again, you will notice in the formula bar our formula. Let's add on to the basic examples that we have just learned, taking a cell range and adding a value to that range. Let's double click on a cell and enter in the following formula. Equal, sum, open parentheses. We want to select a range, so come to B2, hold down the left cursor and drag it over to E2. Let go of the cursor and close your parentheses. Now we want to add a static value. So let's hit space, plus, space, and then 100. When we hit enter, you will see the value is now 124. This is the value of these four cells plus the additional 100 that we added to the formula. If you click on the cell, you will see the formula sum, open parentheses, B2, colon, E2, plus 100. We have added the value of the range and added 100. Another useful option for adding cells together is, again, using the cell range, but this time we want to add a cell and not a static value. So let's say we want to add the range of B, C, and D together, but we do not want to add the cell E, but we do want to add the cell F. We cannot do this in a single range because E is not wanted. So what we will do is double click on the cell we wish to add the value, type in the following formula, equals sum, open parentheses. Again, we want the range of B2, to D2. So left click and hold on B2 and drag over to D2, let go, close parentheses, space, plus, space, and now we want the value of F2. So single click on F2, and as you can see, it is highlighted in red to correspond with F2. B2 colon D2 is in blue, and as you can see, that color also corresponds with the range that we have selected. Now that we have selected F2, hit enter, and you will see that the values that we have added together are B2, C2, D2, and F2. E2 has not been part of the formula. If we click on this cell, you will notice up in the formula bar our following formula: equals sum, open parentheses, B2, colon, D2, close parentheses, plus F2. Our value is 136. Example 2. If you wish to find the sum of a range of cells, you can use Quick Sum. Left click and hold down and move your cursor over the cells that you wish to add together. You can move your cursor down to the right bottom side of your Excel sheet and you will now see the sum value of the cells that you have selected. You can also individually select cells instead of a range by simply clicking on the first cell that you wish, hold down your Control button, and click on additional cells that you wish to add together. So in this case, we will select C3, we will hold down the Control button, and we will click on E3 and G3. Again, looking in the right bottom corner, you will see the sum of the three cells that we have selected. Example 3. The AutoSum wizard is an option that Excel gives you to be able to add up a range of cells without manually typing them in. To simply do this, go to Formulas, and you will see the AutoSum option. Click on the cell that you wish to sum up. The AutoSum will evaluate the cell that you are wanting to put the values in and determine the most logical range of cells to add together. In this case, we have selected J2, and the only cells that can be added together are C2 through I2. So Excel has created the formula for us. The formula is equals sum, open parentheses, C2 colon I2. When we hit enter, the value of C2 through I2 have been entered into J2. Clicking on this cell and going up to the formula bar, we can see the value of the formula that Excel has created for us. Example 4. Sometimes the AutoSum feature is not an option that will work for us. In this instance, we want to add the values of the column Monday into the total cells. When we click on the cell and we click AutoSum, you can see that it's only selecting the options for C5 and C6. That is because there's a break in the data. This is called non-contiguous data. So what we need to do is be able to add all of these cells together into a total cell. Let's hit escape so that way it clears out the formula. And we will select this cell by double clicking it. Now we will click on equal, sum, open parentheses, and we will come up to C2 and hold down on the left mouse button and drag down to C3. As you can see, we have selected two cells which are blue, and if you look at the formula, C2 colon C3 is also blue. But now we want to add C5 and C6 to the formula. We can hold down the Control button, click on C5, and drag down to C6. As you can see, it added C5 colon C6 into the formula, and it is red, which also corresponds with the red border around C5 and C6. If we close parentheses and hit enter, we have now added up the four cells which we would like to have in our total cells. Example 5. During your use of Excel, you will come across situations where you need to add values from across different worksheets. The sum function will allow you to do this. We want to find the value of our week 1 cells and our week 2 cells. we want to sum those 2 weeks up and add them to our total. To do this, we double-click on the cell that we wish to put the value in and type in equal, sum, and open parentheses. Now that we have entered in this part of the formula, we want to come up to this function button and click on it. This will give us our function arguments for the sum formula. We have 2 values that we need to enter, our week 1 total and our week 2 total. We put our cursor in our number 1 argument box, click on the week 1 tab, and click on total. As you can see, the number 1 argument shows week 1, which is the name of our worksheet, and J2, which is the cell that we have selected within week 1. If we go to argument number 2, we will now go to the week 2 worksheet and select the J2 cell, and you will see week 2, J2. This means that we have the value for the worksheet week 2 and the value of J2. When we hit OK, we are taken back to our worksheet where we want the total, and you can now see that the total is in place. When we click on the total, you will see the formula is up in the formula bar. Sum, open parentheses, single quote, week 1, single quote, this references the week 1 worksheet, exclamation, which means that we are referencing a cell within this worksheet, J2. Then we go comma, and we want our second argument, which is week 2, exclamation, J2. This completes our formula for multiple sheets. I hope you have found this video helpful and informative. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment on any function or software example you wish to learn more about. Again, my name is John Gibson, and this is another I Need Examples video. Have a great rest of your day.